Hey everybody, my name is Wyatt and I'm Ferda Tunes, and last night I was at the Beach House concert at Toronto's Massey Hall and I experienced, I think, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Now, I am still very much riding the high from this show, so I'm going to say now I apologize if this isn't as deep as I would usually go into as much detail as possible as I do for these concert overview videos, but I still cover all the essentials, I think. Also, before we get into it, if you'd like to see me talk specifically about Beach House's music, I ranked their entire discography just last year in a video I'm still very happy with. I want to bring back the discography rankings. I'm going to someday soon, I promise. Even though the list has fairly drastically changed since then. Thank you, Once Twice Melody. I also made a video on that album specifically, but we'll get into that. Let's get to it. First things first, I just want to shout out the venue. I know this doesn't apply to anyone who isn't in Toronto, but the legendary Massey Hall. It really is a perfect venue in my eyes, and I could not have pictured a better place for Beach House to perform at in terms of acoustics and atmosphere. It's perfect. There's no other way to describe it. Second, I have to talk about the opener, Mary Lattimore, who I did not know whatsoever before this. She's a classically trained harpist, and while I had zero expectations, as you usually do for an opening act that you've never heard of, I was completely and utterly blown away. The songs she played were gorgeous, and really, I just fell so in love with the harp itself. Like, what a fucking instrument. And watching her fiddle with it and just pure magic coming out, each string just entrancing me more and more, the loops, it was so impressive. That may sound like I'm just impressed easily or whatever, but genuinely, I've never seen somebody just on their own playing the harp and entrancing the entire audience. Seriously, I was floored by how intimate it all felt, and I don't think I've ever seen the whole crowd give so much respect and attention to an opening act. It was fucking lovely to see. Where do I even start with Beach House's set? Oh my god. I remember thinking after the show, I don't know how I'm gonna make this video even. Everything was so seamlessly perfect and as great as any Beach House fan could possibly imagine. Seriously, like I mentioned, I don't think I can go as deep as I usually do for these videos because everything was amazing and just as I imagined it would be, how I think most fans would imagine it, but experiencing it in real time was an otherworldly, transcendental experience. I will say I was quite out there for the whole show. There were of course some songs or moments where just pure instinct came out and I started recording, and I also think we literally had the best seats in the house. Like look at this shit. I can't cap. It was a perfect optimal viewing experience, but I still just felt so insanely entranced at some moments I couldn't even be bothered to pull my phone out and just rest it on the fucking balcony in front of me. But I got more than enough, and the videos were spectacular because, again, it was just so easy to grab them. That's all that matters to me. First, I want to talk about the set list because Beach House is the type of band where they have hits, obviously, songs that are pretty safe to expect to hear, like Space Song and Myth, but they have a plethora of fan favorites, underrated tracks, deep cuts. Really, through the whole discography, they don't have many, if any, weak songs. So really, I was prepared to hear anything. Even if they played none of my near and dear personal favorites, I was still certain that I would be 1000% fulfilled. And again, just as I expected, that's exactly what happened. They definitely did play more than enough personal favorites for me, but I found their set list perfectly diverse, playing just enough songs from all of their major albums, excluding Devotion and Thank Your Lucky Stars, unfortunately. But they did a good handful of songs from all of their other albums and a ton of songs from their new album, of course. By the way, if you want to hear my thoughts on that, the album of the year, just, you can check out my experience video, Once Twice Melody. Just go check out my thoughts there. I have to talk next about how unbelievable they sounded. Massey Hall is known for its beautiful sound and acoustics, so it's no surprise, but Oh my god, the buzzy guitar just filled every corner of the room, the drums bouncing off the wall feeling ritualistic, and of course the synths and chords just vibrating through everything and coating your nervous system. Like I keep saying, this shit was transcendental, and I'm not even just saying that like it's a fancy word. It was so, I felt like I was levitating. Like, actually, though. It was so insanely easy for me to just stare at any given spot on stage or at the numerous lights and visuals and have the entire world around me just slip away. Visually and audibly, nothing else in the universe was happening. This show took me away from my own mind for 99%, the entire duration, pretty much. The only times I was like brought back to reality was when there was like a slight few second pause in between songs and it was dark and me and my homie would just be like, holy fuck, holy fuck. And lastly, of course, the visuals and the lighting I have to talk about. They had a smoky atmosphere around them the whole time, but it wasn't too much. But the lighting was magnificent and exciting, perfectly executed. So much variety and very colorful patterns swirling around the venue and on the front of the stage. Much more interesting patterns than you usually see at concerts, I found. Visuals behind them varied from starry night skies, my personal favorite, to various angles of the band playing, displayed in a cool way, and many, many effects that came in on perfect lyrical moments. It seemed like they really thought of everything. Obviously, they've been making music for almost 2 decades now, and I'm sure they've toured plenty of times before even I was a fan, so I can't speak on those, but this one really just seems like they pulled out all the stops and again, thought of everything. Little details to just make this show as immersive and entrancing as possible. I even remember seeing the crew rolling out these rugs on the stage, and I just thought, oh, to make it seem more cozy or homey, kind of nostalgia or something. But I realized they were like sort of reflective carpet type of things, so from where we were sitting, all the visuals and lights from behind the band were bouncing off of the carpets in front of them, and it made for a stunning visual experience across the entire stage. Even leaking out into the audience, it felt like there was just colors or atmosphere. And when it wasn't colorful, it was submersive in some of the show's darker or more serene moments. Can't emphasize enough how sucked in I was. Again, the entire stage, my eyes would just get lost over and over, and I found myself completely out of my mind. Again, for most of the show, completely frozen, but unfathomably relaxed and, again, entranced. I have to mention how I said the set list was perfect, but the ending there is no words for. They did Modern Love Stories, the last song on their latest album, followed by Myth, the first song on Bloom, one of their most popular songs, for a reason, and then their encore was fucking over and over my favorite song if I had to pick one from Once Twice Melody. And just, oh my god, Jesus Lord. I'll leave you with the last section of that part of the show at the very, very end of this video if it doesn't get copyright. It was just the most glorious and biggest bang I could have imagined them going out with, even after I stopped recording, because the song was over. I knew the song was over, but they slid around a bit, and just brought it back for one last rendition of the chorus, and I cried. And it would be a crime to not mention, of course I mentioned obviously how great they all sounded, but Victoria, just the energy, she went crazy when it needed, her vocals sounded amazing, just such a sweetheart, oh my god. At the end of the show too, she just sounded so grateful, and it was beautiful, like, I don't know, man. Also, I literally wept helplessly into my hands halfway through On the Sea, one of my personal favorites. Again, I wasn't expecting them to do it, but I was hoping, and yeah, it literally tore my heart out and showed it to me, and I literally completely broke down. I also copped a vinyl, baby. Let's go. Album of the year. I unfortunately don't have it with me right now. Obviously it'd be on the wall. My friend took it home for me to pick up later because I had to bike home from the train station, and that I was not ready to risk it all for that. I could go on for days just geeking about how immersive this concert was, but I think I've said everything I want to say. If you are a fan of Beach House, you cannot miss this tour or any shows that they have in the next whenever. I will definitely be seeing them again if they come. Just an absolutely perfect show, like, I can't say it enough. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have any questions about the show or my thoughts about Beach House, anything really, leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. If you like this video, please check out more of these concert overview videos. I love doing them. My strongest passion comes out because I make these videos purely for me to watch later in life and re-experience these concerts as best I can. Hopefully I can give some sort of insight on what people might be able to expect if they're going to see these artists. But regardless, I've done a ton of them. There's always going to be more coming. I got a ton more concerts lined up this summer. Let's get it. So again, thank you so much for watching. The playlist will be in the description. You guys can support me on Patreon if you'd like. There's a lot of exclusive content on there as well. Join the Discord if you want to talk to some super cool people about some super cool music. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. Subscribe to stay tuned, and much love.